Today is Friday, December 22nd. We're talking about holiday travel, how many people are expected to be on the move, how airlines have been preparing, and where weather could cause some delays. Also, what to know about a mass shooting in Europe near a popular spot for tourists. Plus, what new research found happens when people try to fact-check false news. Which new rules are coming to Major League Baseball in 2024. And how an online joke about Walmart turned into a real-life event to give back. Those stories and even more news to know next. Welcome to The Newsworthy. All the day's news in around 10 minutes. Fast, fair, fun, and on the go. I'm Erica Mandy. Thanks so much for being here. You ready? Let's do this. Well, Christmas is almost here, and with that, millions of Americans are starting to travel. More than 115 million Americans are expected to travel more than 50 miles between tomorrow and New Year's Day. And that's the second highest prediction AAA has ever made. And most of those people are planning to drive. Transportation company INRIX predicts tomorrow and next Thursday will be the most congested on the roads. As for air travel, TSA expects a 6% increase in passengers this holiday season, with next Friday and New Year's Day being the busiest. And there have been a lot of preps underway in an effort to avoid another debacle like we saw with Southwest Airlines last Christmas. Since then, airlines have hired thousands more pilots, flight attendants, and other workers. And the FAA has hired 1,500 more air traffic controllers. Of course, a big X factor in holiday travel is weather. Today and tomorrow, there's going to be rain to watch out for in the desert Southwest, Pacific Northwest, and Southern Plains. And snow is becoming increasingly likely in the Northern Rockies and Northern Plains by the weekend. Out east, things are pretty calm and quiet, but there could be a storm system headed that way after Christmas, so forecasters say it's a good idea to check on conditions before returning home. The Czech Republic is now mourning at least 14 lives lost in the country's worst mass shooting ever. A college student opened fire at a university in Prague, just a few minutes walk down the street from Old Town Square. That's a major tourist attraction where a popular Christmas market brings in thousands of visitors. On top of the 14 people who were killed, another 25 were hurt. The gunman also died, and authorities say the death toll could still rise. So far, police haven't released any details about the people who were shot or what the gunman's motive may have been. The shooter apparently had no criminal record, but he's suspected of killing another man and his baby last week and his father yesterday morning before going to the school. The Czech government declared tomorrow will be a national day of mourning to pay tribute to those who were shot and killed. A new report backed by the United Nations details the horrific toll the war in Gaza is having on the people who live there. It says the entire Gaza population of more than 2.2 million people is facing crisis or worse levels of hunger, with the risk of famine increasing every day. That's the largest share of people facing such levels of food insecurity that's ever been reported. Trucks have been bringing in some food, water, and medicine, but the UN says the quantity of food is just 10% of what's needed, that there have been serious bottlenecks of supplies backed up at border crossings. And even when they can enter Gaza, several frontline areas are inaccessible to aid workers. Israel says the level of destruction is so high because Hamas is entrenched within the civilian population. Israel has reportedly destroyed many Hamas sites and hundreds of tunnel shafts and killed 7,000 Hamas fighters out of up to 40,000. Remember, Israel says it has only two goals: to destroy Hamas and rescue the hostages taken from Israel on October 7th. And it says military pressure is the only way to accomplish either. But not everyone agrees. Intensive talks are underway now as different world leaders push for some kind of truce. The public official, once known as America's mayor, is now facing a crushing level of debt from his work as a lawyer on behalf of former President Trump. And now Rudy Giuliani has filed for bankruptcy. It comes just days after he was ordered to pay $148 million to two former Georgia election workers who he falsely accused of fraud after the 2020 election. He also owes several $1 million in debts to various law firms, and he has nearly $1 million in debt for unpaid taxes. Overall, Giuliani's bankruptcy filing says he has up to $500 million in liabilities and assets up to $10 million. And he's still facing several more civil suits, like from voting machine companies, one of his former employees, and President Biden's son, Hunter. Plus, Giuliani faces criminal charges out of Georgia. So this bankruptcy filing should give Giuliani a bit of a breather from creditors, and it pauses the civil cases against him. Though it won't allow Giuliani to completely avoid paying the court judgments against him. As always, the Salvation Army bell ringers have been out all holiday season with their iconic red kettles. But they're not quite as full as they used to be. The Salvation Army says donations did drop about 20% between 2019 and 2022, and that the trend is continuing this year. There are several reasons and some theories for the decline. For one, charities as a whole have faced a drop in giving, perhaps because inflation has left people with less cash to spare. Also, foot traffic around red kettle locations hasn't really bounced back since the pandemic, where more people started doing their shopping from home. Another reason could be fewer people walking around with cash, preferring to pay for things with credit cards or smartphones. Though we should note, the Salvation Army does now accept mobile payments like Apple Pay and Venmo, and even cryptocurrency at its red kettles. And you don't even have to see a red kettle. The Salvation Army also takes donations on their website, by phone, and through Amazon Alexa. And the organization says it goes to good use since it's able to serve more than 25 million people in need year-round across the country. The Red Kettle campaign is accepting donations through tomorrow. We have more news for you still coming up, but first, this podcast is sponsored by Lumi. If you need a last-minute gift or stocking stuffer, I've got you covered. Because with Lumi, you're not just giving deodorant, you're giving confidence that they're smelling fresh all day. And get this, Lumi is on the top of the most wished-for list on Amazon for personal care products, so you know you're getting something people want. And for good reason. Lumi is a game-changing whole-body deodorant that is clinically proven to block odor all day and control odor for up to 72 hours. It's baking soda and paraben-free. It's pH balanced to use anywhere. It is my new favorite deodorant. It actually works. And it's clinically proven to control odor better than a shower with soap alone. Treat yourself or someone you know with Lumi's Starter Pack. Lumi's Starter Pack is perfect for new customers. It comes with a solid stick deodorant, cream tube deodorant, 2 free products of your choice like mini body wash and deodorant wipes, and free shipping. And as a special offer for our listeners, new customers get $5 off a Lumi Starter Pack with code NEWSWORTHY at lumipodcast.com. That equates to over 40% off your starter pack when you visit lumipodcast.com. That's L-U-M-E, lumipodcast.com, and use the code NEWSWORTHY. Now back to the news. When you read something on the internet, you might think a quick Google search would help you clear up any misinformation. But the opposite might actually be true. A new study found fact-checking fake news is the very thing making some people believe it. A team of researchers found when people are not encouraged to search online to help them evaluate a story, about 30% of them rated a false article as true. But when they did search online in an effort to evaluate it, 36% rated a false article as true. So what's going on there? Well, the leader of the research team says it all boils down to the search terms used. Since search algorithms are not always designed to prioritize accurate information, just the best match to your search. So when people search misinformation, they tend to find sources that corroborate those claims. And that's concerning since researchers also say the more people believe fake news, the more potential there is to lose trust in reliable media sources and the more polarized society will become. So what now? Well, the researchers behind the study have a couple of suggestions. One, programs to help people improve their digital literacy, as we've talked about here on the show too. And number 2, improvements to search engines so they deprioritize poor quality information. At this point, search engines like Google have not commented on this, but already there are digital literacy classes available. So we'll link to one highly recommended course in today's episode notes. And remember, you can sign up to get the one-page media literacy cheat sheet we created back in October. You can get that by going to thenewsworthy.com/media literacy. A couple of the world's most popular automakers are recalling several different vehicles over some serious safety concerns. So first up is 2.5 million Hondas and Acuras, including the Honda Accord, Civic, CR-V, and many more. They were recalled because of an issue with the fuel pump that could make it so engines don't start or stall while driving, and that could make a crash more likely. So Honda dealerships will fix the issue for free. Separately, Toyota is recalling more than 1 million vehicles over a potential airbag defect. They include the Camry, RAV4, Sienna, and a couple of Lexus models. Toyota says in some vehicles a sensor wasn't manufactured correctly, and now there's a glitch in the sensor that detects when someone is sitting in the front passenger seat, and that could cause the airbag to not deploy in a crash. So Toyota dealers will inspect the sensors and, if needed, replace them for free. To see if your vehicle is one of the ones being recalled, you can contact your automaker directly or go to the NHTSA's website. This week, Major League Baseball announced more changes coming to America's favorite pastime. The new rules build off the changes introduced last year, like a pitch clock that gave pitchers a limited amount of time to throw the next ball. This time, changes include an even shorter pitch clock. There will be a limit on how many times pitching coaches can go out to the mound, and any pitcher who warms up before the start of the inning must throw to at least one batter before being taken out. And there are other changes for pitchers as well that are all expected to speed up the game. Plus, there will be a wider lane for runners to get to first base, so it's a more direct path, overriding a rule that's existed since 1882 and has led to quite a few controversial umpires' calls over the years. The Players' Union did not want these new changes, saying they don't offer any meaningful benefits to the game, and they argued they needed more time to evaluate the impacts of last year's changes. Still, the new rules were approved over their objections, with the Joint Competition Committee saying they'll improve the game for fans. They'll roll out when the next MLB season starts in the spring. That's it for the main news today, so now it's time for Feel Good Friday, when we bring you one extra feel-good or positive news story before the weekend. But first, a quick break for our sponsor. I gave AG1 a try because, as a busy parent and business owner, I'm always on the lookout for things that support my health and my energy levels and are convenient. So I was really intrigued by AG1. I reached out to them wanting to partner, and I've been really happy with my experience all around. I drink AG1 before I eat or drink anything else each morning, and it makes me feel ready to take on the day, especially around the holidays when I tend to eat those extra cookies and pie, and our schedules get all abnormal. It is so nice to know I have this go-to healthy habit every morning that I can come back to. AG1 replaces a lot of other supplements too, including a daily multivitamin, minerals, pre- and probiotics for gut health, adaptogens, and a greens blend, all in one scoop of powder mixed with water. So if you're looking for a simpler, effective investment for your health, try AG1 and get 5 free AG1 travel packs and a free 1-year supply of vitamin D with your first purchase. Go to drinkag1.com/newsworthy. That's drinkag1.com/newsworthy. Check it out. Okay, now back to Feel Good Friday. A joke about throwing a party at Walmart turned into something else entirely, a toy drive for needy kids. A New Jersey man named Andrew Delgado created an event on Facebook to sarcastically celebrate customers who use self-checkout. Tongue-in-cheek, he described his party as a way to honor, quote, another successful year of picking, paying, and bagging your own groceries while actual employees just stand around and check receipts. Delgado never thought his joke would take off, but thousands of people said they would show up. Since he realized thousands of people at his local Walmart wasn't realistic, Delgado tried to turn his silly joke into something positive, a holiday toy drive. A nearby community center agreed to sponsor the event where people could drop off gifts, get pictures with Santa, and enjoy cups of hot chocolate. For its part, Walmart took the whole joke in stride, donating an entire truckload of toys. Now there's word of making the toy drive an annual holiday event. And speaking of some feel-good news, we'll be back tomorrow with our special edition episode all about some of the most popular positive news of 2023. Well, thank you so much for joining us today. Even though we have tomorrow's episode still coming, note that we will not have a new episode on Monday, so our team can have some time off for the holidays. So be sure to join us again on Tuesday for your next news roundup. Thank you again for listening. Have a great long weekend. Merry Christmas and happy holidays.